Seorang dua je tak ada. Okey. Okay. Okay, see. Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good evening. Okay. Okay, thank you to Dr. Putri and our guest, TS Amma Kamruzaman, one of my friend during my study in Brisbane, no, in Perth. So, okay, we are gathered here for exciting industrial talk organized under the course of KPM 2113, which is a project management information system by Graduate Engineering and Technological Business School, GAPBS, University Malaysia Pahang Al Sultan Abdullah. So So tonight, we will dive into the future of project management, which focus on the project management system. Our topic is next generation project management information system, integration, automation, and executive analytics. So I would like to introduce our speaker today, which is now the name is for our speaker is TS Ahmad Kamruzaman from Doha, Qatar. So currently is a senior system engineering for subsurface solution at Qatar Petroleum. So with over 10 years of experience as petroleum engineering and has dedicated his career to helping oil companies improving production recovery through innovative digital solution. Okay, so for academically, our guests hold a Master of Science in Petroleum Engineering from Curtin University, Australia, and Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering from University of Southampton, UK. So please join me in giving a warm and visual welcome to TS Ahmad Kamruzaman. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat petang. Okay. Prefer to just tell me if you are seeing my slides or not seeing my slide. I hope you are seeing it.
Yes, can see.
Okay. Alright. So, Bismillah, Assalamualaikum dan selamat petang. So, I'll be more comfortable if we are engaging casually during this session. Okay, thank you for my introduction. To add on top of that, I've been dealing in my career progression. I've been dealing with within the upstream industry of upstream oil and gas industry. It's related to more on the E&P, exploration and production domain knowledge. More or less, I've been dealing with production data management, how the enterprise keep their data for the exploration and production data. In specific for production, I mean, I didn't deal much on exploration, such as the geologist data, exploration, such as the 3D model data. More of it on the surveillance activity where we monitor operations either offshore or onshore. In Qatar, for your information, we are having the operation land operation as well as the offshore operations. So in the past as well, I've been doing the other than data management is more to the hype back in 2014. They started the hype with this analytics, dashboard, visualization, these kind of things. And then the requirement come from the analytics. Because of the analytics requirement, I started exploring, engage more on the data management, and with the data management, it comes together with the package of the integration. So doing all of this is unavoidable. It's either you can do the front end, and then you have to explore on the back end as well as the system integration. During my time when I served with Qatar Energy, now used to be Qatar Petroleum, now called Qatar Energy, what I've been doing is that I did some system migration. I would say they hired me on the basis of exploring the system migration activity, where we have to migrate the older legacy system. It was found and flagged vulnerable by the cyber security because their system is very old. One of the system is very old. Part of it, 3/4 of the system has been migrated, but then it's left with 3 more assets with the legacy system, which is I would consider challenging. Hence, it was put at the last in the priority. Okay, so before that, I would like to know more on your expectation. What do you, I mean, if you can just unmute your mic and then tell me your expectation so that at least I know what to adjust with my prepared presentation. Okay, maybe anyone can say anything? What do you expect from this session tonight? It's an 8:30 p.m. session, quite late. Please.
Okay, let me first. So, okay, for me, what I expect is what is the how Qatar Petroleum use the data from the project or from any element of the project or business that you can use to maybe to improve the decision making in the business lah, in the company.
Okay. Project management. Anyone else?
Okay, the student can share your thoughts based on the title of our talk today.
Since you are joining, why not just participate rather than being a passive and just listening to it wherever you are from?
Hi, Mr. Amar.
Yeah.
Evening. Vignesh
Evening.
here. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of ads in LinkedIn for project managers at the management level and higher, looking into analytics, the ability to create dashboards, the ability to process data. So perhaps you're able to share your insights about today's modern project managers who are using analytics in their project management and also
Okay.
perhaps operations.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Two requests. Anyone else?
Hello sir,
Yeah. Hi.
boleh saya cakap? Okay.
Boleh.
So,
Cakap-cakap. Melayu pun cakap pun
okay.
okey.
Okay, so my name is Iza. So my expectation for today's session is, I think, to explore future career opportunities and also required skills in project management and system engineering.
Okay, future career. Repeat future career.
Future
Skills,
career opportunities
opportunity.
and required skills in project management and system engineering.
Project management and system. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, sir. Okay, my name is Durga Devi. I have expectations of like what are the current tools or system that we use in the project management, any sort of management to track or manage the project's progress or progress. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So you have said your portion, your shares. I would say share my shares on my expedition. I want you to be engaged. Use your reaction button. Please test now. Maybe send some reaction so that I can see if the reactions button is working. Have you used it before? Okay. Good. All right. Ask questions. If no questions asked, I will assume everything is clear and I'm entitled to ask back. All right. So, let's align the expectation. What I would be speaking, because of my career, I've never been personally, professionally trained as a project manager, neither working in a PMO, project management office. So all the while that I have been working on in the past is that I've been working as a petroleum engineer, working in IT field. That's why I said my domain knowledge is the ENP, exploration and production activity of oil and gas. I've been dealing with digital twin, digital transformation. Most of them, either I'm becoming I speak the lingo of the petroleum engineers, but have the possess the skills to do the IT parts of it. So that's what I have been dealing with for the past 15 years. Not much of project management, but I can share my parts on how I see for the past 5 years in Qatar Energy, how they manage their own their projects. But today, what I would be sharing with you of the so-called, it's not the next gen, it's the analytics that we have now, the executive analytics, the integration parts, the automations, and if you are about to do it on your own. Because I believe you are from the, most of you are from the computer science school. Is it, Wafi? Dr. Wafi?
No. It's from Faculty of Industrial Management, Management School.
Oh, management school. Okay, nevertheless. So digital is a skill. When we speak about digital nowadays, most of the people, most of the engineers are able to do on their own. That's why if you notice when somebody highlighted, you saw so many ads in LinkedIn with the insights of able to do analytics, dashboard, this kind of thing. It sounded as much as it is a basic thing, basic necessities nowadays. So okay. So, okay. Executive analytics. What is executive analytics? Executive is either you are the exec managers, engineers, depends on your level, decision level. You want to have your own executive analytics. How do you do it? So I can share with you my own story. When I was with Schlumberger previously, before I moved to Qatar, I was with Schlumberger for almost 10 years. Hence, that's why Wafi have the details, almost 10 years. I've been working for 15 years. For the first 10 years when I served Schlumberger, I've been involved aggressively on building this analytics dashboard and system integration. So one of the keys problem that we wanted to solve is that we have a new onboarded asset manager. When we call asset manager, for example, Petronas, we have Sabah operation, Sarawak operation, Peninsula Malaysia operation. So we have a new asset manager in place, and then within an asset, for example, Sabah operation, we have so many fields: Samarang, Sumanda, what else? I don't remember. What's the name? There's small field, Kinarut. So all these fields, there are so many fields. Every one of it have different operational requirement, and because of it is you are asset manager, under you have so many reporting manager, functional manager, not functional manager, your subordinate are the managers of the each field, and each field possess, when we talk about it on daily basis, we produce a daily production report system where they produce this DPR. Every asset have their own challenges, every field have their own challenges. For example, one field they have all installed with ESP, electric submersible pump. Another field possess the challenges, they've put focus more to putting the gas, making sure the gas lift operation is running properly. Another field, for example, is all about managing the water that comes out of the production. So all of it, they have different focus. Because of this different focus, they will have different layout of reports that they will have. But imagine if you are the new asset manager, you are appointed asset manager, and you have so many fields under you, and you cannot afford to every one of it. You are looking at it. What's wrong with Samarang? What is wrong with Gumusut? What's wrong with Kinarut? You are just scratching your head. There's no standardized way of looking at it. If 10 operations fail, that means 10 different formats you need to look at. And then in 10 different fields, the entire field, the entire state, the entire operation probably consists of 1,200 wells that you need to see. You need to know in general what is happening. So how do I solve the problem at that time? Definitely, the magic word is the standardization. But in order to standardize, you cannot just simply veto your way. Okay, this is your template. Everyone need to fill it up. So that's not the way of standardizing. The way of standardizing, you need to understand what do you have in your. You need to understand your asset. Um, every asset, what is the concerns? Can you come up with a way of top issues for 5 fields, for example, that contribute to the most concern? For example, the organization Petronas said, Sabah, you need to promise me by the end of this month, this is your production target. You need to tell me whether you can meet the target or not. Or even if you see it's necessary to reschedule or recalibrate your target, you need to know why, how you can do that. So that's why you need to start with the question, what do I have? Your assets, your production, how many people you have, the cost associated with it, every lifting, how much does it cost? For your information, if I'm not mistaken, in Malaysia last time during our oil crisis, we are close to $40, $40 a barrel. For each barrel that we need to produce, you need to know to watch out your costs, and then you need to watch out as well the risk associated, the safety risk associated with your operation. So all these analytics, you need to configure it with certain KPI metrics that you take, so that you can do your decision easily. Why? Because you simply wants to understand the performance of the field according to your organization target. Because you are the asset manager, your metrics or your tracking is different from your field manager, probably different. And then the opportunities that you need to identify also is different, because different heads, different level, different aspects that you look at. And then that's why you build this executive analytics. Okay, before that, when we need to start the projects to make this executive analytics, you will find a lot of challenges. I would assume if somebody has been working, you would have been mounted by so many templates every time the new manager come. Oh, you need to fill up this Excel, another Excel. While you have the previous managers have a different set of Excel, you have been preparing that keep on running. But a new manager when come in or new initiative come in, you need to fill up more Excel and more Excel. It's like endless, and it seems like it is the same information repetitively presented in different manners. And the scenario is typically it was made mandatory. Everyone need to fill it up on top of the existing reporting. What will happen to this mounted task? So many things. It is overwhelming, and definitely those information are not distributed on time. And while filling up repetitively so many times, and maybe sometimes the information is almost like the same, but it's not, because of the aggregation, the mistakes will happen. You will tend to make mistakes. This has happened. So I've seen this issue before. It has happened, and that so now we are talking about preparing the data. Once we prepare the data, we need to look into. Now you have identified what you have. You need to look into what is it available, how you can make things connected seamlessly through integration. So earlier you have your Excel sheets, your ERP, for example, your SAP, your operation database, your manual database, your spreadsheet, your SCADA sensor, as well as probably you have manual inputs that you keep on in Words document or something like that. So you have so many key sources that you need to build in order to build your executive dashboard. So how you can put this together, just identify what you have without redundancy. By identifying that, you start on streamlining it and consolidating it into an integrated data platform. Those days, we are familiar with the concept of everyone when the vendor comes and approach the clients, the enterprise, the business, they will approach, look, we have the platform to keep all your data. Everyone keep on claiming that way. But as time goes and the maturity, technology maturity comes in, it's no longer necessary to keep all the things in one place. What matters most is that you are able to connect to your data source, multiple data source, streamline it, make it your data into a linear data so that you can consume it at much later. Once you have it, then you can put your analytics on top of it. Any widgets, any post-processing, you can do it. The key is that your selected technologies need to have the openness or the compatibility with the data sources that you need to find. So why doing this integration? What will happen is that you will have the consistent data throughout, and then the reporting makes easier. There's no longer multiple records. One of the case that I can share with you during my early days serving Schlumberger, the Petronas engineer keep on coming to me, and they're telling me, Amma, we have problems. Every time that I've presented my forecast of the production for next year, somebody will come up and asking me, what is your last data point? Why this is happening? It seems like there are multiple versions of the same information. At times, the practicality of how I can see it, if I may describe, one guy is doing a forecast based on production of May. Now it's May. Based on last quarter one, which is up to March. They make a forecast. Okay, this quarter we will have production decline by 1.5%, etc., etc. This is our production target. And then somebody comes in, no, we can meet the commitment to Petronas. We can meet the target based on my analysis. This is this. And then we have so many people have their own analysis. The problem is the information is not up to date. Apart from not up to date, there are potentially revision to the first quarter production data. I mean, imagine you have prepared your own Excel, do your forecast, but at the same time, when you about to do your presentation, somebody said the data has been changed. You figure out the data has been changed. Do you still need to do everything all over again? This is one of the ridiculousness of the activity that you will face, that you already probably, if you are a postgraduate student, have been working, you already seen it, especially with finance. I've been hearing this from the finance department. They are facing the same thing. Whenever there are adjustment to the baseline, there are adjustment to the assumption, they need to do the reforecasting everything all again, which is not practical. I mean, extracting, doing your own analysis, and then put up your forecast. It's not practical. By right, these days with this technology, everyone is looking at Facebook, social media in real time basis. What's so difficult to do all this activity in a streamlined and unified manners, right? So yeah, that's one important integration. But another part of it is that you need to know your getting to know your data source. You need to know where your data is recorded. What I'm talking about, your data is recorded. I've been mentioning just now the production, because what I've been doing is all related to the production activity. How much every asset is producing, and then it's not about every asset is producing, where it is recorded, at which level. So most of the time, when we want to do analysis, a lot of it has to do with the data is not recorded at the appropriate hierarchy. For example, if we are talking about if I'm talking about the production activity, data, some people record data at the I give you example just now, the Sabah operation SBO. People record data at field level, Samarang, how much it produced. But the problem of doing record, one guy record at field level, another guy record at the area or reservoir level. So it's how do you do this, the analysis? Even though you have recorded this data, by end of the day, if you are trying to build a system, trying to build the executive performance dashboard, you will not be able to do it because you will not be able to compare it apple to apple. You are trying to analyze reservoir information against a field information, or reservoir information against an area information. So what is important, you need to understand all this data, what is the source, what is the highest resolution that you can get. For example, in this case, if when I'm doing the digital assessment, what I will do is that I will take the information, I will ask the basic question. Given an example, you do a well sampling data, and you do a sampling data. So where it is captured, we have pipeline sampling, we have well sampling, we have what they call at the end of separator point sampling, or even at the pigging point sampling. So you need to know where is it, and then establishing the hierarchy. If we are to compare at field level, what built to field level from my what they call engineering knowledge, I know a group of completions, a well can have multiple completions. The smallest hierarchy is the completions, and then build up to the well, build up to the jacket, and then go to the station, production station, and then go to the field. At the same time, that's the vertical hierarchy. At the same time, we can have a horizontal hierarchy as well. A group of completion that belongs to the same reservoir can become a reservoir, and then a group of reservoir that belongs to the field can be a field. So you need to identify when you are about to aggregate the data. You need to know what is the hierarchy that you can establish, and then I come again to my repeated point just now, the data resolution. The data, most of the people, how we end up, how the executive end up doing multiple mounted by this Excel filling exercise is because the data is required at different level. It is aggregated data. Had it been, we capture it from the unified system or identified system, we could have been producing like, okay, what do you want? Area level? Nah, you just extract it, filter it, and then you just give it to them. That's not any issue anymore. So if you don't capture this, you lose the opportunity of identifying your production volume loss opportunity. You might be identifying at field level, while at field level you cannot really conclude why you are not meeting the target. Instead, you need to capture it at well level, because why it is that way. When you want to fix the problem, you fix at the roots. If the well is the one that is making it an issue, your well do not have enough energy, enough pressure to push out the oil, then no matter what you do, trying to introduce new compressors, trying to introduce new pumps, you are pumping at a higher rate, it will not change anything for as long as you are not troubleshooting at the source of the issue. That's on the integration part. So among of it, that's what is available for us today. I mean, in those days, we have in those days, in my time when I started my career, we have more classical, not classical, traditional way of doing it. But nowadays, with the presence of so many digital startup, we have many things. Zapier, N8N, Power Automate, all of this fancy technology, the integration can be made much more easier. During my time, what I have recognized is that we will integrate using API, application program interface. Every application that we selected in the enterprise, normally we will try to find out what are the APIs associated with it. And then if it is not, we will look at the middleware option. We have so many middleware, Oracle middleware, I mean, one of it is the Oracle middleware, how this can be used to connect application the system to another system. More traditional, but it is not flexible. It's not flexible. It's not. I would say it's the most flexible because you can do so many things with it, but changing it is a pain. Updating it is a pain because you are doing mapping from database to another database, synchronizing this data against the database, trying to for any updates, for any changes that you will need to do, it's not going to happen in one click. You will need to modify. The modification is that depends on how you plan your work. You will probably end up fixing 10, 15, 20 scripts in one go. While nowadays we have this workflow orchestrator like the Power Automate and Make AI. I do not know how many of you have used this technology. It's really interesting because things are very visualized now. You see your database, for example, you create a scenario. Okay, I want to process my wellhead data. I have a wellhead pressure, TB head pressure, temperature, and etc. Feed it into your engineering model, and then get the results, execute the engineering model, get the result, keep it somewhere, and then build another analysis template on top of it. So it's very visualized. You can see it on the diagram basis. That's the integration techniques that we have. The workflow orchestrator also today comes together with the package of process automation. I mean, automation is simply means automating your works. What you have configured, you want it to be running consistently throughout the time. So those days, how I have done it, I think probably today I still do it. I put the task in the task scheduler, schedule the task to be run at specific time, so that the procedures, the script are executed. At the same time, if the task scheduler is not so much practical, it depends. For example, in this activity of producing the executive dashboard for morning report, what I will do is I schedule the task to run at 5 a.m. because by the time for the morning meeting at 6 a.m. At the station and the office, here in Qatar, we start office at 6:30. By the time at 6 a.m., the technical assistant would be able to print out or to make sure all dashboards are updated for the morning meeting. That will be a task scheduler. I would expect every personnel at the station involved in generating the executive analytics would have entered all the data required for the yesterday operation by 5 a.m. And then there will be tasks. But at the same time, not everything is in that manner. Some of the tasks only happens when people do it. For example, we have a production figure at the station recorded. Qatar to the land from offshore to the land operation, we have around 15 kilometers pipeline, and that travels at the receiving point. They also record at the receiving point. They also record how much each station produce at the end point, and then when they record end of the month, there will be a reconciliation activity, production reconciliation activity. So this guy on the land will send the this guy on the land will send the numbers to the offshore in the system offshore, so that it will compare how much the differences, and if they accept, okay, and then process it so that it will generate a reconciliation factor. We just need to monitor whether the discrepancies is too big or not. So by doing that, I mean, how do we know when it is done? Whenever the people do it. So how to detect that? We just embed the triggers inside the table. Whenever we receive a new rows, it will process. There's another method, XML method. This is painful, but if we one of the options I would have considered, we use the XML integration, define the connection string, what is the SQL queries block, and then what is the application block. So today and the future, these are the things that would have eliminate. I would safely say eliminate the yesterday and today style of doing automation and integration. We would be able, with the modern days technology, Microsoft have their own Power Automate, Zapier, make.com. If you are interested, you can try. I just tried it last week. It's really interesting. These are the tools that can orchestrate your workflows and automate it. People call it the robotic process automation, RPA. It can be. So, but the problem with this all this third party, not third party, independent service provider, this the they call digital startup, the new startup. What is the issue with them is that, first of all, you never know how long they can survive in this climate, in this very risky climate. If for example, if Make fail, what will happen next? You have paid subscription, you have built your solution, enterprise solution using Make, then suddenly they are not around. What would you do? Does it mean the business cannot continue as usual? So that's one of the consideration when we want to at standard price. We are thinking about what to buy, who to buy from, to provide your technology service provider. You are thinking about the sustainability. I mean, worst scenario, does it mean you need to rebuild everything again manually? And then there is legal consequences as well. We are battling in Qatar now. We are battling with the US Cloud Act. For your information, what is US Cloud Act? It simply means everyone that subscribe to the US service provider, our data is hosted on US service provider, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. The US can come and demands that data, and demands to see to that data. I mean, now the question comes, where's the confidentiality? I mean, on the basis of crime, you are saying, I need to open, give me access to this container, for example. These are the questions that we are battling now. And of course, if you try small scale, $10 a month is sufficient. What if your data is too big? How huge your bill will be, right? So, I mean, it's give and take. It's either you build all the solutions on your own manually, just like yesterday and today, what I've been doing, or you move to the future technology, which is all this technology subscription. At the same time, we have data source from the SCADA system, and then aggregate it, because we don't need all the high frequency data. We put it on the server, load it into the application server, and end of the day, there is a workflow manager that post-process those data, put it into the corporate dashboard. So this is one of the example of dashboard that I've been building, the analytics that I've been building. Starts with how the blue one is the total how much the production target is, and then the red one is how far. If the red is close to the blue, that means simply whatever the target you have put, you are close to it, to the target. But if it like this, I believe we are 10 or 20% of the target. So for this specific field, it is reported how much is produced. But at the same time, we have the engineering model that work in the back end, so that it can compare, end of the day, how far we have the digital twin. The engineering model, we call it simply the solution as a digital twin, because it can simulate based on certain parameters, what is the expected measurement that you will receive. So based on that parameters, more or less, you are 97% off from the expected production. So not so bad, means your engineering assumption is still valid. Unlike gas, it's very difficult to determine. This is common. I used to see this number 63%. Even here, at times I'm seeing 40% off the gas estimation method. And then I built one part here at the bottom where we can see, I mean, this is what has been produced yesterday. If it continues, for example, with certain pressure, for each well, how much it can produce individually. That's what we can see. Okay. That's one of the dashboard. And then at the same time, the executive analytics that we are looking at, the well by well, which wells are tripping a lot. So tripping means it's simply shut in, not on production. And we can see certain wells are not put on production. have been having continuous disruption for more than 24 hours, and then you can see the trend of the temperature and pressure, surface tubing head pressure, tubing head temperature, and the bottom hole pressure. Simply to understand, if we click on each completion, what may have caused that disruption. And one of the scenario that we often want to analyze is that it was online and then it was stripped and then it was back online. What was the issue? Because bringing well back online is something that is troublesome, because we need operators dedicated to troubleshoot that well until it's alive. Okay, that's my presentation. I'm trying to address back to the concerns of the question just now. I know, because I didn't prepare much on project management, because my task, most of it is related to the executive analytics, but from the operations perspective. For project management decision system, back to the first question, project management decision system.
Ahmad,
Hmm?
can we on the recording back?
Yes, please.
Okay, okay.
Okay, for project management decision system, here I believe most of the company, we do enterprise agreement between the company and Microsoft. Enterprise wide agreement, most of the time it comes with package. Microsoft Suites is I would say very comprehensive. Uh, Project Management Office here, they use this EPM. The basically is still the Microsoft project. It's a web based. You upload your you update your progress. First of all, what they have been doing here, even though I'm not a project manager, but at the time of doing the executing the system migration project here, I they asked me to prepare the WBS work breakdown schedule. I mean, it was my first time ever. I was not certified, chartered, or anything even trained as a project manager. I need to prepare the work breakdown schedule. But system migration is something that I've been doing. It's my bread and butter. So I have no issues of it. Identifying the steps, what are the first steps, second steps, until finish. And then once I uploaded the schedule, it's just a matter of putting me to commit with my schedule. What I need to do is that on weekly basis, I need to update the progress report, and then it will, I think by night time, they refresh the EPM, Electronic Project Management module, and it will reflect from the CEO level, all projects, which project is troubling behind, it is behind the schedule, which project is, how many is not ahead of schedule, is on time. Unlikely, right? We have project management ahead of time. Unless you are estimating it wrongly, then you are way too ahead of time. Yeah, LinkedIn insights on the analytics as a PM might not be needed to build your own analytics. That's how I'm bluntly saying. You don't, as a project manager, you are not expected to build your own analytics. Not executive analytics. What you will be expected is that to update, keep track, use the analytics that have been provided to you, because the EPM is an IT project. Somebody will build the dashboard and then show uh, what they call to manage multiple parallel projects in one go. It's not a project manager task to build an analytics. It's just this analytics should provide an insight to you how your healthiness of your project. Future career required skills.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Eh,
Kenapa?
Wait, let me contact him back.
Hello? Tak ada, okey je. Hello?
Hello.
Hmm.
Dah habis ke?
Tak ada, okey je. Ada gelap senyap lama ke tadi?
Kejap, macam 2 minit tadi.
Oh, okay. Alright. So, let me stop my podcast because nothing to be shared. So, future career. The third question, future career that is available and required skills. Yes. Future career, I mean, it's not so future. The current opportunity that we have back, upon my scouting, what I've been looking at the market, is as much as common for engineers, especially, to be able to organize your data, to be able to construct your own analysis. And those days, at least Excel is a must. Organizing your data in Excel. But now, organizing your data in Excel, analyze it in a you don't want to repeat your analysis every now and then. You need to build your charts again over and again again whenever you have new information. No, that's not the style. We would have expected you to be able to know your data and then tell me without it's a one-time effort, and then without repetitively building your template over and over again, to tell your management how far you are behind, how to do catch up and do analysis, or even if it is not project management, on the engineering itself, what is your recommendation of to troubleshoot the issue where you can diagnose. So that will be, I think it's not future, it has been that way since forever, and engineers to solve the problem, because you look at the issues, factually evaluate your situation, and then recommend a solution. Current
Ahmad,
tools.
for example, right, if you got a
Mm.
data, right, is it
Mm.
in your company usually they use Power BI to visualize the data,
So
or
okay,
you use Excel?
current company, okay, that's again, it's about preferences, and it depends on your company licenses. Most of company nowadays, they sign an enterprise agreement with Microsoft, so it comes package, Power BI, everything together. Those days when I started, when I started trying to build this analytics, 2012, 2013, uh, Power BI is still way behind. At the time, is Tableau and Spotfire. At the time, I like the one that I presented to you was Tableau, and that was a dashboard of 12 or 13 years ago. 13 years ago style. So what has happened at that time? The skill is still the same. Organizing the data. I mean, in my case, I need to be able to query my data from the database and then connect to a visualizer. I was evaluating Tableau and Power BI. Power BI, the cuts were so bad as in aesthetically, as well as trying to figure out, because it was at early stage, it was not massively rolled out. Unlike today, you search anything, even your Copilot will be able to guide you step by step how to do it. Where if this pie chart is not working in what they call connected to another cards, how can you make it connected to another cards? You can ask the Copilot. I mean, it's a Microsoft platform product, right? So they will be able to guide you step by step. And even at that time, I am relying so much on Stack Overflow. Those days are long gone. I think in recent days, it's very quick to ask Copilot and ChatGPT for an answer rather than trying to scramble yourself in the forums. Yes, doesn't matter as long as you choose one. Microsoft is the most of the time the suits to go, the application to go. So go for it. Power BI. Yeah, they have Power Platform as well to build your automation. So not an issue, not so much an issue. But yes, I would have expected if you are an engineer, you would be able to do this kind of task. If I'm I am interviewing new employees, definitely these are the questions that I would be able to ask them and expect them to be able to answer logically. Yeah.
If the person that you interview is project manager, they
The
should
project
have
manager doesn't
the
matter.
skills.
I would ask them if they are project manager depends. If they are from the for the IT parts, I would be expecting them to know at least the compatibility. I mean, if because project manager it depends. If you are construction project manager, so what? As long as I can see my what they call, I can see my project is progressing. I know if the client is asking you when this is going to complete, when the material is coming, are we short? What are most likely the obstacle? These are the more crucial information that we would have expected from a project manager from a construction company. But if it is from IT, come on, man. People would have expected you to know all the basics in the IT industries. If it is upstream oil and gas production, then I would have expected the project manager of that oil and gas production area would be able to identify when we would be able to catch up or to roll out the new program.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the logical. Not so much hype on this analytics. It's just like if you are talking to your father, your parents, I would describe during their time is the Excel dashboard, Excel dashboard, pivot, all these charts, scorecards, built from Excel. It's the same. Today it's the same. During the time I started, it's just static SQL Server reporting services. And then it moved to Tableau and Power BI. And as a dashboard, we never know tomorrow or the day after what it will it be. At the end of the day, why do we need this analytics? To track your performance, to give insights on what we should do, to recommend, to aid, basically aid your decision making. End of the day, whoever look at it, draw a conclusion from the dashboard matters.
Okay, anybody got other question to our guest speaker that they can share any
Yeah, please.
his insight? Yes. Anybody want to ask question? Related to data analytic or project analytic or project information system. Anybody? Okay, if don't want, I will ask question first. Okay, I got question. Okay.
Good evening, sir. My name is Hansi.
Yeah, good.
So, I have a quick question. About the analytic. Is it the I mean the executive that for example the estate manager already use the data analytic using for example Selenium. Is it can maintain and sustain for the time being or need to do stuff I mean change for another is to maintain the system always steady and smooth in the future. The first question.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again? The first question. What is the line? Question line. What's the question line?
Yeah, my question is during data analytics, if the personnel or the asset manager will use the tools, for example, like a Selenium or Cypress.
Tak dengar lah sebab dia berdengung lah.
Bukan berdengung, pecah.
The sound agak like
pecah.
pecah-pecah.
Boleh tulis ke kalau problem tu? I'm still interested to know. Boleh tulis, type je. kat situ.
How about right now, sir?
Yes. Much better.
Okay, regarding the data analytic,
Mhm.
if the personnel or the asset manager using the tools like zippers or case, Is it he can maintain it for the time being, or
Okay.
he need to always up to date with another tools to maintain the system?
Okay. Asset manager, straight for that question, asset manager does not build their own analytics. It's the service
Okay.
provider or their subordinate build it for her.
So,
So
my
they
bad.
won't. Yeah, no problem. I'm just sharing. But the executive that built for whoever the asset manager was, uh, uh, is expected. For example, now your boss already used to see it. It's very easy. Amma already build it for me. Today, tomorrow, and then suddenly, in 1 year, Amma, I used to see this information up to date. Why it does not update? Sorry, boss. Subscription mati dah. And it end or make no longer do their product. Then what will you do next? That will be the question. How to do it? But most of the time, enterprise to enterprise agreement, when we sign up, if they are about to go what you call one out of from business, they will notify us. They will be closing down, and then it's up to you as the IT division. You will, I mean, or whoever in charge of your the maintenance of it, you need to already notify. This will be out of service. The company will no longer deduct payment from us. What your action plan next? Whether to migrate to another, initiate a project to migrate to another tools, it's up to you, or perhaps make your own extraction process, all those workflows. Doesn't really matters. Most important is that how do you sustain that dashboard? That's all. Do I answer your question, Azim?
Yes, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ada student want to ask question?
Yes, sir.
Ismail.
Yes.
Yes. Ismail Shah, you can answer the question.
Assalamualaikum Tik Azamah.
Salam.
Yeah, just now the slide on integration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that one also have ERP. I just want to know that one
ERP.
using your own or Oracle, SAP.
Yeah,
something like that.
most of the time ERP here, what I have been involved extracting or pushing information, my own project in the past, we push the final figures of production to the SAP ERP. Here, sometimes the maintenance activity that they enter, people from the station enter, for example, they assign the task for a replacement of instrument. They put order, and then all the orders are tracked in SAP ERP. And then what my system will be, I will have expected to pull this information into my own dashboard so that I know this issue has been assigned and action has been taken into it. You just need to know when the information, when the item will be delivered and installed. That's what you need to know. Or even if you have, if you are managing just now the asset manager case, if you know you are about, I mean, in business to business, one of the criticality is that you have an agreement, establish a period of agreement. When the agreement is about, the contract is almost finished, 1 year towards the end, you need to start already, because the process is taking too long. You need to start for the contract renewal process already in place. If you somebody or your subordinate fails to highlight to you what the consequences will be when you have issues at the station, and then you end up want to fix, there's no contract that can support you. To initiate a contract is even worse than to renew a contract, the process, because you need to go through all the legalities again, all the evaluation process. So that's why it's very critical. Is either pulling the information out of SAP or pushing the information to SAP. That's the criticality. So I'm just giving an insight. It's not all about connecting it. It's about what to know. That's why I said just now, my first slide begins with the end. What do you want to know actually? What do you want to see? What do your managers want to see? Yeah. And is it practical, even economical to do it? Sometimes building at those days, we don't have the plugins as much as nowadays. We end up custom building everything, which is very expensive to do it. When I say expensive, I mean imagine paying Schlumberger our contractual rate is um 10,000 USD for less than 10 years experience, 10,000 USD a day. It's not to the engineer, to the Schlumberger. And then you are building it, the Schlumberger engineer quote you, this take 30 days. Bayarlah kau. so that's the challenges. That's why you need to balance it. Rather than paying this, just subscribe something, pay, finish. You still get the information. Why you bother to build everything on your own?
Okay, thank you, TS.
Mm.
And then so that the SAP run on Microsoft Azure infra, right?
It depends. And nowadays they are putting it on the cloud. I'm not involved in the SAP HANA transformation program. People are talking about SAP HANA, SAP HANA. For me, it's just technology. End of the day, what you do with it. You can choose any Oracle, Microsoft. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you, TS.
Lagi?
Okay, the student, you want to ask question?
Those who asked the questions earlier, expectation, do I meet? Did I address your questions appropriately? Perhaps if there is more clarity, just ask. You still have time.
Okay. If no one, maybe I would like to ask question. Ama, you use like the trigger, the schedule, right? So you use trigger and schedule. What application or software you use for that one? Or you use the make
Depends.
and
If it is on Linux server, we put on the cron scheduler. If you search cron, if we there's another way of doing it. I mean, the most common on the Windows server, we just put on the task scheduler, write your bash script, put on the task scheduler, and notify your IT security that there will be a batch. Because this server, I mean, in Qatar, for your information, the server are surveilled. We have this what they call cyber security division of the ministry, from the ministry as well. They look at your server and then monitor if there is any peculiar activities running on the server. Giving them a heads up, these are the whitelisted script that you are running on server at certain time is crucial. Otherwise, it will be blocked and somebody will just send an email to your bosses. There is a suspect of what they call vulnerabilities, attack, something like that. Because nowadays, being next to Iran is something sensitive.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, anybody got other question to ask? Anything about project information system or related to data analytics? No? If not, maybe we can conclude our class. But before that, let me think. Okay, there. Okay, API. Okay, Ahmad, I would like to ask you like API, right? So when you use API for integrating a lot of data, right? So is it costs a lot of money to do the API? Because I think if you want to do
API, you send, for example, if it is a REST API, you send a request in certain formats, and then it will return a JSON response, and then you just have to pass it the information because it will respond on one line. I would say it will return you on one line with all the JSON script, and it is a matter of you to handle that, process it and put it into your system, your table, for example. You just extract. API is a matter of putting a structured request, just like a select statement in SQL. Is at least when API, the program comes, for example, if my program, I make it communicable through an API. There is a standard way of doing it, endpoint, and then put all the minimum requirement, and then it will return transport the information return in certain way of doing it. That will be an API, and it's just a structured way of you handling your data, integrating it, requesting and sending and requesting information, and even to carry some of the update, insert, this kind of activities. Instead of doing the SQL script. Why is it good? Because you do not need to do it, what you call, the access is controlled. Normally is API is just a lighter version of your program, instead of the full program when you need to open the program, open the browser, and then perform certain activities. You can just like your Windows scripting, when you do the bash scripting, you tell a command, okay, give me this, it will return you that. Is doing exactly the same thing. It's not expensive, but whenever you buy, I would advise, and one of the paper I have done some research, whenever you try to buy an enterprise solution, look for the solution that comes together with an API, because this API allows you, at least they are not keeping all your data and you are trapped. Because you keep all the data inside the application, you cannot put it out from your application again. You are not flexible. Get an API so that whatever you put in, you can give it structure in programmatically, and as well take it out programmatically. I mean, imagine those days in Windows 95, you have an application. When you want to execute certain task, engineering task, calculation, you can only execute it in the application itself. You cannot send with the web services nowadays. You cannot send the request through web service and API. I mean, these are API is a year 2000 onward ish things, and now people still follows that. It's the least what do you call, least effort to do.
Okay, any question from other student? If not, we conclude for
Yes,
this section. Okay.
yes, mostly
Fadil.
all the data on-prem or cloud-based.
I mean, enterprise depends on the appetite. If it is a small scale, we don't go for your own on-prem server, because it's more expensive to buy these servers on your own. Especially if you are SME, if you are having a shop, you just subscribe cloud subscription. And there you go. You don't need to buy a new computer, everything, new server. Make sure it's running 24/7. No electricity. When there is electricity issue or internet issue, gone. No, you don't have this kind of thing. That's why you put on cloud. SMEs especially, but enterprise like us in Qatar Energy or Petronas, it's back and forth. It depends on who's leading the organization. At times, people you say, "Oh, put everything on cloud," and then after 5 years, alamak, mahal sangat lah. You cannot control your OPEX anymore. Then you revert back to the on-prem solution. It could be. It depends on the organization direction at the time. End of the day, like I said, technology doesn't. I mean, do change. Doesn't matter. But what most important is that you know your substance. Demo kena bagai. Okay.
Thank you, TS.
Okay.
Okay, got more? If not, more question?
Dr. Taufik, can I ask a question?
Okay, sure. Dr. Zaimi.
Okay, Mr. Ahmad, thank you so much for your presentation and sharing session just now. And I joined slightly later because I had some works to do. Mr. Ahmad, just to gain some insights lah. I mean, what are some of your thoughts for the future trends, okay, to watch in project management information system. Okay, now we have heard about AI powered predictive PMIS and a lot more. So what is your thought and opinions on this? The future trends to watch in the coming years.
Okay. My thought and also advice for myself, I mean, to share with all of us. To be frank, first of all, get your hands on one of these stuff. At least, I mean, if you are a student, try to do as much as possible, learn on how to use these tools. But again, like what I told you, familiar yourself with one of the tools. Technology do change. It rapidly change. I'm being candid with you. I have a lot of doubt with this AI hype because me myself have tried this machine learning at least I tried to do a POC of it back in 2016 2017. It didn't give me a good result, and since then I put it on pause. Didn't never believe in this hype anymore until recently with this booming of this what they call regen AI, and then I started trying to do part by part, piece by piece. I realized something has changed. It's like something significantly changed compared to my time in the early days doing this machine learning AI things. Get yourself on one of the tools. Spend lah sometimes $10 a month. Jangan banyak sangat. Spend create a project. Try to get your hands on it. Familiarize yourself because fundamentally these tools does not change that much across of it. It's still a matter of macam mana nak letak trigger, when to schedule, how to do process. Do you batch process the entire row, the entire table, or row by row? Depends on how you manage it. If you are good programmatically, you will structure your work so that it's not so expensive to pay the processing. You just process the new data coming in. No need to process the entire table, for example. It depends. Okay. So it's not necessary. Siapa yang cakap tu?
Dia buat video call tadi tapi saya tak ni, dia terus pergi ke ni.
Okay. Alright. So it's not really necessary for us to what they call to follow all the trends tightly. You will realize at one point technology does do change, but fundamentally the fundamental has not changed that much. It's just a feature. Again, okay. One of the conclusion that I draw: AI is just a feature of all your hard works. You put it in one structured. You collect all the data in a structured manners. You are just reaping off the benefit. You can do the regen AI based on the data that you have keep it all this time. It's just showing your progress, and it's a feature. Is everybody is talking about regen AI, regen AI. End of the day, it's just a feature. You ask this, they give you this returns. It's just, I mean, to put it, sometimes I feel somebody feels like I'm belittling this AI thing. But for me, it's no more than the VLOOKUP. When what we used to do in Excel, most complicated during the school time, we feel like, oh, we know learn VLOOKUP. Oh, antik lah, laju je boleh tengok merge data semua kan. It's just no more than the formulas in your Excel. For me, that's what AI sounds to me. That's how I treat it, and don't be intimidated with this technology. But most important, it's not about neglecting it. Try to learn, get your hands on one of the tools, continue. Yes, do some projects on your own. Me, myself, I do my own personal cash flow analyzer, extracting PDF, extracting data from my bank statement, trying to merge things and see with ChatGPT, OpenAI, what does it give? It can analyze the description and give even, okay, this is the category for what, and then you start analyzing your own personal cash. This I mean, I could have tightened my budget in this manner, because there are tools like that outside. People sell it, the startup, so many startup founder program. But we, to equip ourselves, try one of it. Create one project that you think you can finish. Spend a bit. It's not free. I'm telling you upfront, it's not free. Try, pay, set a timeline, try the technology, and then you should be able to be confident with what you have. Yes. Do I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. Pretty much. Yeah, it's just a matter. Just as you said, AI is just a tool, and then some. I mean, when something has been hyped so much, okay, we have the tendency like to the so-called fear of missing out. Okay, and at some given moment, um, um, we don't. I mean, like there are certain. I mean, like one particular term they call it as joy of missing out. Okay, they don't even bother pun, kan? Yeah, there is something about it lah. But yeah, I can't agree more with you. Okay, just like to equip ourselves with CNN, with all the knowledge and the skills. There are lots and various in the current industry, and of course some of those are not free, but at least something that we can focus on our soft skills, right? To manage our routines, human skills, and so forth. And then yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, ada student or lecturer want to ask any question?
Okay.
Okay,
Let's wrap up. So let me wrap up. One of the conclusion I want to share with you as well. I've been saying don't get intimidated. Try it. Most important, I think this very time is very important for you to master. One is, for example, your domain knowledge, your functional knowledge. For example, if you're in the construction industry, understand very much the sequences, how the concerns on the construction finance, for example, if you are in the investment banking, understand how the economic strength works. But don't miss out on this. At the same time, you need to have another skills. This is hard skills, which is the computer thing. Alamak, boleh mute kan? Boleh mute kan tak? Afiq?
okay, done.
Okay, so fundamental is that you need to possess two things at the same time. They're very much, these are the modern days, not modern days. Nowadays, the era is in that it's not about you need to have 2 degrees. No, what you need to have, domain knowledge, what your business, your industries is about. And another part is the computer skills. Computer skills is as good as how you can use your tools. Basically, it's a tools available at you. And nowadays, everybody have phones, smartphone. It's not something that is asing lagi. Bukan benda-benda yang asing. It's something common. So you need to be able to use. It's not like those days tak ada calculator, tak ada typical calculator kan. No. You need to know how to use your calculator, your phone, your device, your smart devices, your subscription, Google Cloud that you are paying for, Google Suites. So it's more to that. This is my key takeaways. I want everybody to listen and to understand. And I think I'm very much relieved, alhamdulillah, grateful that I'm not intimidated by these tools. At times, I feel overwhelmed as well, but I challenge myself since the beginning of my career. Initially, I was forced. I was never been educated in SQL programming, SQL scripting, and the first time I started my career, I look at it, what's this cacing? Apa banyak sangat cacing-cacing ni? So small, and then a lengthy XML blocks that I need to look at. And then evaluating the SQL statement, trying to understand how people pull out the data, store back the data. These are the steps. And then merge with my knowledge, masters in petroleum engineering that I did in my master's time. I feel like best juga benda ni. So that's the trend. And yeah, you cannot avoid anymore. I think that's the common thing that is requested nowadays. Yeah.
Okay, top of that, for example, like in a project management context, like for example, if you are a PMI member, there is a free course regarding generative AI. So they will teach you about how to use make AI, like TS Amar said. So they will use, for example, you go to the meeting, right? So the make AI will do the automation, analyze it, your meeting, and maybe you can see what to do list for each of the PIC and summarize of the meeting. So it's about automations. So it's different for what we learn in the class, like project management, Microsoft project, and Primavera. So this is more other stuff about project management information system, for example, like automation, analytic. So this one, you will have like more knowledge, more curiosity. You can learn by yourself. For example, like TS Amar say that you can spend like 100 ringgit, go to Udemy to learn some of this stuff, and then you can try it, and if beneficial for your company and your skill set, then you can try to improve it, and then maybe you can go to the higher ladder of your salary, big company that require your for that skills. For example, I want to share you, for example, like construction. So for construction, basically they also got integration, but basically different things. For example, you got BIM, so you got Autodesk, you got Primavera, all these things same like TS Amar said, they can be integrated. Autodesk can read a lot of different format. So from that, you will improve your construction project management information system. This one of the things in project management information system that you can tackle about new skills about automation and data integration and data analytics. So if there is any no question, if you got any question for TS Amar, no? Okay. So, okay, as we draw this section to a close, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to TS Amar for taking the time to share his expertise, global experience with us today. So, your insight into digital transformation and data analytics are truly invaluable to our students and faculties. Okay, thank you to the GBS team and all our participants, especially KPM 2113 Project Information System student, Master of Project Management, Faculty of Industrial Management, for making this talk a success. For those who need like the recording, so this one we will share you in the Teams. If you don't, if you want the recording of the video, you can ask me. Okay. So so we wrap up for today. Okay, thank you. For all students, to our honor guest TS Amar, to other lecturer, Dr. Huzaimi, Dr. Fahan, and Dr. Putri. Hopefully you have a good good evening and feel have a good rest before go to work for the next morning. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Alright,
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Amar.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Dr.
Waalaikumsalam
Dr.
warahmatullahi
Wafi, good
wabarakatuh.
night.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank
Doctor.
you,
Yes.
doctor.